Hi, welcome to Bookwrights House, where stories come to life and authors feel right at home. So today we're settling in for a warm and wonderful conversation with Mr. Alfonso Watts. Good afternoon, Mr. Watts. I'm Elijah Barcelona, and before we begin, on behalf of Bookwrights House, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss your work and insights as an author, so let's get started. Okay, so, what inspired you to write The Man in the Shadows? So, was there
The
a
men,
particular event or idea that sparked the story?
actually, yes. The title came up probably around 1992 for me,
Mhm.
92, 93. And I was listening to a song covered by a reggae group called Third World. It's
Reggae.
called Lives in the Balance. You familiar with them? So they would cover the song written by Jackson Brown. And one line stayed with me, and it was, there are shadows on the faces of the men who sent the guns to the wars that are fought in places where their business interest runs. So there are shadows in the faces of the men that fan the flames of the wars fought in places we can't even say their names. So those things stuck with me. So it made me think about men that really control things. You'll never see them, but you'll see on the news all the things that's going on, but it's people behind the scenes. And I always thought about men in the shadows. So for years, I just carried that phrase around, men in the shadows. And one day out of a dream, and this was probably 15 or so years later, out of a dream, I was inspired to come up with a character, and a character in my dream who I put in there is the dark force, if you've seen it. Anyway, that's where it came.
Okay, so you told me about that particular character in your book. So, do you somehow feel particularly connected to him? So, or which one of them makes it? What makes them special to you?
The main character, Alex White, is actually me.
Oh,
Is some things that took place in my childhood, of course, sensationalized. But yeah, Alex White is actually me. Yeah.
okay.
Some people who've read the book that I grew up with, they'll call me and ask me, "Is this you?" So yeah, that's what I got. But because his AW Alfonso Watts.
Also was. Can you tell me more about this character? Just a.
Well, as far as what he does, is the character is a unassuming kid, and
Mhm.
who would think that? I thought about David and Goliath. If you know the story, how could a young kid be a match for a giant? Okay, with all this armor, he's a kid. It's his faith, his heart. As they say, God looks at the heart. It's his heart that gave him the confidence to know that he could overcome that. So is that we have challenges in our lives too big that we think we can handle. So that's what I want to bring to the readers. You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. So with Alex, some things that I have to overcome in my life, you know,
So, did you face any unique challenges while writing this book? So, how did you overcome them?
writer's block was the challenge because it took me years. Once I had that dream, I started putting things on paper, started writing some things down. Until a certain point, I wouldn't continue. I wouldn't touch it until I was inspired again, maybe out of a dream. So I would literally sleep with my laptop on my chest. Because if I woke up inspired by something, I write it down. It's like wearing the right outfit. You can't just put any shoes with an outfit or any accessories. It has to match. So I wouldn't add anything until I was inspired to do it. And sometimes it may have been months or years between editions, you know? And one thing about this, I started after graduate school. So in graduate school, there was a lot of reading and writing required. And, we were instructed to put everything in an outline before you wrote your paper. I didn't do an outline for this. I told a story. Because originally this was supposed to be a movie.
Oh,
This was written as a movie. I wrote scene one, scene two, scene three, originally. So I later converted it to a book and changed the chapters and had to modify everything a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have plans in the future, like to turn it into a movie, like what you've planned?
That was my original thought that
Mm.
this would be a movie. So I would love to see it on the screen. And people who've read it said they'd like to see it, you know, on the screen. Yeah, we'll see.
I want to see it in screen also. So
Okay.
hopefully. Okay, so
Hopefully.
yeah, so besides the reggae group that you told me about, was there any specific authors or books or genres that influenced your writing style or approach to the story?
Uh, yeah. As far as a writing style and genre, I grew up watching Twilight Zone. So
That's on.
Rod Serling, and he was I was a fan of his, and he later did shows called I think it came out when I was a kid after Twilight Zone. Oh, I can't think of it, but he did another series later after Twilight Zone, and Stephen King, M. Night Shyamalan, that kind of genre, that kind of writing, the kind of fear that you can't run from. Once it's between your ears, you can't get away from it. So, not to terrorize anybody at all, but if I want to provoke your thought and think you to think of something, you know, I wanted to make you think, you know, and if it were to give you some kind of feeling, I didn't want you to run from a boogeyman. I want you to kind of take it with you. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. The Night Gallery is the name of that other series after Twilight. The Night Gallery. Yeah. Rod Serling. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us if there you have any plan for sequel or companion piece for this book?
Yeah. Actually, yes. There's a sequel. And when I was writing this book, started writing another book simultaneously. So I found myself writing that one and then working on the other one, and I had to actually stop that to finish this. But I've already started another book. It's not the sequel; it's a whole different story. But just as excited about that. I just again haven't completed it. And really, the series to this book, I'm gonna have to change it because if you've seen the movie Leave the World Behind, it's on Netflix. That's actually the sequel to my book. And if you read my chapter 9 on page 55, you'll see the similarities. And this was copywritten in 2017. So I'm ahead of that. So Leave the World Behind with a lot of things I was thinking about for my next book. That's fine. I'm still can just modify it. But that was actually a sequel. And if you read my chapter 9, page 55, you'll see the similarities there. Mm-hmm. And even fast forward that movie into 1 hour and 26 minutes. That conversation describes one of my main characters in here, you know. And if you read my introduction, you kind of see the correlation. Yeah.
So besides this book, are you working on a new project?
I don't want to give the name of my next book, but yes.
Okay.
But
Can
yes,
you give us a short glimpse on what it is
but
about?
I do deal with slavery, and I do deal with voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's all I want to say on that one.
Okay, yeah, you go on with deeper topics like that. It's a bit deep.
Well,
And
it's something that I want to intrigue people.
mm-hmm.
There are things that take place in this world that really take place, but people don't like to discuss them. You know, people are sometimes afraid to talk about it or deal with it, but there are certain things that take place in this world. Some people enjoy the entertainment of it because it's definitely going to be it's definitely going to get your attention whether you like it or not. So yeah, some things I want to write about, but I just need to finish that one because I'm just as excited about this as I am this one, and I'm very excited about this one. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any advice that you could give for aspiring writers who look up to your work and hope to publish their books in the future?
Yeah. First, whatever inspires you, write it down. Write it down. Don't procrastinate about it. And once you build on that, you before you know it, you have a story.
Mhm.
You have a story, and so many things are different now as far as the technology. You can, self-publishing. Instead of waiting for going to different publishing companies the way people did in the years ago. Now, so many things are available online, and you can get things out there. You'll need a company like yourself to help promote, but you can do some things and get started on your own. Just like entertain or singers, or they sell albums or tapes or CDs out of their cars before they actually get picked up by a record label. So you can do some self promoting with the social media and technology we have now. So start writing any idea down and keep writing until you complete your thought.
That's right. So, okay, this is like, oh, we'll go back from the top again. So, this is about your character again. So, if today, if you could sit down with one of your characters for coffee, who would it be and why? And what would you tell him or her?
Because the main character is actually me. There's so many things that I tell myself as that 12-year-old.
Mhm.
Because I've seen so many things, and I've made my share of mistakes. So for Alex, and thinking about the story. So for Alex, I will let him know to embrace the challenge. If you read it, so not to be afraid, because fear will keep you from doing anything in life. Just the fear. I will tell him to embrace it. It'll be okay. And embrace it, and be courageous, because you have the support that you were told you had. He has an experience where he doesn't know if it's real or not, but later in the story he realizes it was real. So I would tell him early on, embrace that, have the courage to do what it is you plan to do, because you do have that support and you just didn't realize it. Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you show us your physical book and can you tell the readers a few of the message or takeaway that you will gain from reading The Man in the Shadows?
Yeah, one thing I deal with, because Alex is 12, he's preteen. I do deal with bullying and peer pressure. There's a moment in here while he's in school. He's bullied a little bit, and the principal, who is like I spell his name different, but he was actually a principal of mine in middle school. But he was an influence on me. So he was bullied. I had a bully I had to deal with at one time, but you never know why someone's bullying you. All right, it's what people have to go home to. So they make that. So look at things a different way. If you're ever in a situation where you're bullied, there's a reason why. Another thing, peer pressure. There's a situation in here where peer pressure can cost you your life or your freedom. There's a circumstance of someone that he knew got it caught up in a situation because of the influence of others, and it cost him his life and his freedom. So those two things I wanted people to take from this. So it's safe read for middle school teenagers. It's entertaining for adults, but I do deal with something in there that I hope there's a message that people can get. If you ever bully, why they're doing it, and peer pressure, how it can impact you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you invite some of the readers to read your book?
Yes, it's available on Amazon, but as we speak today, I was in the process of changing the publishing to a Kindle version. That will be available in a few days. My website is going to change, so that will be upcoming to the company that was maintaining my website is no longer doing that, so I'm having to adjust all that. So that's coming soon. The upcoming website and the version on Kindle version on Amazon will be available as well. You'll see it right now. You can see the cover and the introduction and all that on Amazon now, but it's going to be on a Kindle version in a few days. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Watts. So that brings us to the end of our conversation. So, Mr. Watts, thank you for sharing your insights and inspiration with us. We wish you continued success in your writing journey and we'll look forward to seeing what you create next. Best of luck. And to our
Thank
viewers,
you. Thank you.
And to our viewers, we hope you've enjoyed these conversations as much as we have. And until next time, keep reading, keep writing, and always make space for great stories. So see you again here at Bookwrights House. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Watts, and yeah, have a great day ahead.
Thank you.